What's up, guys, and welcome back to the G2A Festival. It's the third and final game in the best of three between the Power Rangers and 4ASC. Game 1 taken by the Power Rangers, Game 2 taken by 4ASC after some kind of weird drafts went wrong and went right. We're here, and, well, let's hope the drafts are a little bit more ordinary so that we can get a better read on it. I'm Mikelorus, one of your casters. Danelie is still here, hopefully still awake, as this game should be a pretty good one. If anyone is also here for the Hee versus Bears game, that's going to be happening afterwards.
Yes. So we've seen both teams win a game each, and they're both relatively strong teams, especially when they're running drafts that they're very comfortable with. I can definitely see them both taking games off each other. It's based on execution there. I feel like last game it was a bit of a mistake for Power Rangers to really let 4AC really snowball as hard as they did, and they just didn't respect the Magnus. A lot of the times Power Rangers, they just got caught up with the Magnus. They get 3-man, 4-man, 5-man RPs, and what can you do? You can't really do anything when you're RP'd. You're stuck there for that 3-second duration. They just got completely decimated. So I feel like this game Power Rangers is going to show a little bit more respect to 4AC and what they might decide to pick up. Power Rangers are going to pick up a Wisp for their first pick, whereas 4ASC, they're going to pick up a Lion, pretty standard support. What do they want to pick up next with this Lion, though? Really standard stuff so far, though. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, they banned out the Storm Spirit away from G2A because it kind of wrecked them last game. And because the Storm Spirit's out, Sniper is still in. The Storm Spirit kind of doing double duty there, both as a ban towards G2A and, also towards Sacha, who played a pretty good one in Game 1, also serving to protect a Sniper pickup. Bat Rider similarly banned out by the Power Rangers side, taking out the Bat and Veg combo in its entirety. So if it's not the Sniper now, well, it's a Clockwork. It's sort of a soft ban out of the Sniper now, going to try to dissuade Power Rangers for going for that hero, but I'm pretty sure Sniper is powerful enough that if you have a chance to get him, you just get him.
I don't know, though. I feel like if they pick up a Sniper right now, it's very early, and that for ASC, they could just counterplay the Sniper. Yes, you could say Clockwork the soft counter to Sniper just because he has a way to jump right onto him. But remember, there's only 3 other heroes after this Clockwork. It's not just going to be the Clockwork. So I feel like Power Rangers, they're going to play it safe. They're not going to pick up a Sniper now, but they might pick up a partner for their Wisp right now, because the second phase of bans is going to come up after this, and I want to say the biggest Wisp partner is Tiny. I've seen so many games. Yeah, it's going to be Tiny. I've got nothing else to say. Tiny Wisp for Power Rangers. They're pulling out the big guns.
This is even after making that kind of mistake by picking up the IO and then banning out the Tiny afterwards. Now I'm pretty sure with this pick, we can confirm that Game 1's ban of the Tiny was a mistake. So, yeah, they're going to go for a pretty powerful combo, IO plus that Tiny, making Sniper a little bit less appealing for both sides, honestly. You don't want to deal with an IO Tiny. Well, I mean, IO Tiny is, I guess, okay with the Sniper, but definitely good against it as well. For ASC, they're probably going to be looking towards a Disruptor or something similar in order to try to deal with this combination. Clockwork, okay, you could put up the cogs when you see the relocate coming in. You could hookshot both of them, stun them both pretty easily. Maybe you get some follow-up from there. But this is definitely a very powerful way to open up for the Power Rangers side, assuming they can get their lanes off to the right start. And going up against probably a solo Clockwork in lane as a Tiny IO, assuming a safe lane Tiny combo, and that should be a pretty easy lane for Power Rangers to get farm in.
I have a feeling that this is just going to be a mid-lane Tiny Wisp. We see this all the time. They run the bottles, they put aggression onto the mid-laner on the side of 4ASC, which I feel like it's a little bit better than just going in the safe lane. Tiny Wisp, they have so much kill potential and they have so much sustain between the two of them that if 4ASC wants to run a momentum-based carry, they're going to have to keep a support with it in the mid lane, just because there's always going to be the chance for the Tiny Wisp to just pretty much go balls deep and kill that mid lane. So with that mid lane in mind, that means Power Rangers can open up with something a little bit more greedy to put into their safe lane, or they can run something a little bit less greedy, more momentum based, or potentially just chuck their mid laner in the safe lane to just get that farm early and to start snowballing from there, because Tiny Wisp, it's a combo that's good throughout the entire game. Especially when the Tiny can get farm, he's good early game because he has the toss avalanche combo. You also have him really good in the mid game, especially when he starts getting those items. You see his damage is still relevant during the mid game, and in the late game, when the Tiny starts really powering through those items, there are very few carries and combinations that can kill a Tiny Wisp. I have to tell you that right now. It's a very strong combination. I'm pretty surprised that Ice Frogs left it unchecked.
Well, yeah, the I think the real problem here is, I mean, as far as the balance of the combo is concerned, is the fact that it is powerful all the time, but that's really just the strength and weaknesses of both heroes kind of melding together into one overall strong unit. You are investing two heroes into this, and that's really where you can abuse this fact if you're 4ASC. Go for the other heroes and try to burst them down before the Iotiny really comes in. Then, by the time Iotiny arrive, it may be a numbers disadvantage fight for them. Range heroes are going to be at a premium. Craggy Exterior is the bane of all melee heroes, so even though Juggernaut's still in the pool, not looking entirely attractive for 4ASC. Sniper is a great hero just because he can keep Tiny and Io at arm's length most of the time, but if you get relocated upon, that's just not going to be the case. It's the Treant to be banned out, so after 2 games, he's not going to see the light of day this time. The Axe, Mag, the Slark. Power Rangers definitely respecting this damage, kind of rampy type of lineup coming out from 4ASC, where they're just trying to accelerate the farm of some particular hero. But with the Mag and Slark out, that's probably not going to happen, at least not as easily. It's going to be a Bristleback for 4ASC. It's a decent hero versus Tiny and Io throughout the mid and early stages of the game, because the low base armor of Tiny and Io is very abusable by these quills. But later on, Bristleback doesn't really do that great because of that Craggy, and the armor that Tiny and Io actually get, it does add up, and Bristleback's damage output severely decreases.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that 4AC go for that Bristleback, but with this Bristleback, it looks like they just want to go hard and go early. They don't want to give Power Rangers a time to go into that super late game, because that's when Tiny Wisp are at their most potent. So what will 4ASC actually finish up their draft with, though? Because you draft a Clockwork. Now, this is a particular hero that's a very strong offlaner. He gives you a lot of control, a lot of long-range initiation. The weakness of Clockwork, though, is that his damage really falls off during the late game. So as the game goes later and later, his damage becomes more and more relevant. So they have to try and balance out this Clockwork with high DPS heroes, or heroes that can at least scale into the late game and provide the damage that Clockwork will eventually lack. Bristleback, I found it interesting because Bristleback doesn't really work too well with the Clockwork. I guess he could run around the cogs and just throw quill sprays. He's not going to be able to get any right clicks off on the targets, though, which I feel like it's a little strange. Maybe 4ASC can make it work and, I don't know, buy a Blink Dagger, I suppose, on the Bristleback. That's highly unlikely, though. You just never see it happen. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't really fit, in all honesty, but they need something to work with the Clockwork, something ranged, something that gives them a lot of damage and also can scale into the late game. But there are very few options available just because Tiny Wisp, they can really melt through some of those ranged DPS heroes.
Yeah, for 4ASC, maybe they're going to grab some sort of support combo, Skywrath Mage, especially now up against an Enigma looking pretty good, but with this Enigma pickup, though it's very nice for Power Rangers, just to have a super greedy lineup, or offlane Enigma once again did decently in Game 1. For the 4AC side, Disruptor is looking at a premium here. Very easy cancel for the Enigma's Blink Dagger, or just grab a Sniper because it's Sniper and you might as well grab it. That's a hero that could actually put some serious damage into those cogs. Skywrath Mage, Disruptor should be in consideration for 4SC's last pick. Also Rubik, looking like a pretty decent one. Maybe not the highest damage support hero, but when you have a Sniper, you're all about that control. You already have the Clockwork and Bristleback to provide a tanky front line. If you have the ability to drag Tiny away from the Sniper, help him disengage with the Mask of Madness, then you should be good to go. Power Rangers, this Enigma pickup is rather odd. I hope for their sake it's not going towards the jungle, because when you have an Io and an Enigma, your presence in the lane is going to be very, very light.
Yeah, very minimal if they are going to be the supports, but yeah. We are going to see the Sniper for 4ASC. We'll see if they can make it work. They've got some 2 decent frontliners, though, to just give a little bit of space between the Sniper and Power Rangers. I hope it's enough, though. I feel like they need a little bit extra, but they have to grab a support. I feel like they have to grab a Skywrath Mage this game. They just need so much burst damage aside from just the Lion. Bristleback, he's got sustained damage. He will never give you burst damage unless he builds something absurd. So I feel like Skywrath Mage will be a step in the right direction. How about a Witch Doctor?
For
Wish Doctor
4
would
ASC,
not be
that can
too
be,
bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty darn good. Again, it's a nice response to the relocation in from the IO Tiny.
Radiant
Maybe
team
the Scarif Mage looking a little bit better than the Witch Doctor now that the Brewmaster is picked up. Would not have seen this one coming from Power Rangers. They're going to go for a hell of a lot of team fight. It's a hero that typically does grab a Blink Dagger, and when you're up against a Sniper, that's exactly what you want to be doing. For ASC, they do have ways of dealing with this Brewmaster, though, through natural tankiness, through the cogs, and this Brewmaster's time in game is by no means guaranteed to be good. For Power Rangers, their lanes are also going to be a little bit weird, perhaps. IO Tiny, perhaps going towards mid, Brewmaster safe, Enigma off lane, I want to say. In which case, their early game power, though Tiny's power early game is pretty darn good with the Avalanche Toss. It's very, very bursty. Sometimes you have all the power in the world, sometimes you have absolutely nothing. So this is a chance for 4ASC to grab a support hero that could really punish Power Rangers in the early stages. And Scarif Mage is looking like probably the best one here.
Yeah, the silence is going to be so crucial on that Brewmaster, even on the Tiny and the Enigma as well. There's so many heroes that you could essentially silence. I don't want to say this. Do you think 4ASC could go greedy and pick up a silencer? It's very greedy, but all of these heroes on Power Rangers need their spells. They are such heavy spellcasters. A Brewmaster that can't get a Brew Split off, he's pretty much a sitting duck. You have a Tiny that's not going to be able to through his combo. He's got really slow attack speed, so it could really impact him. But no, we're going to go back for Alina. This is just as good, actually, with the Lion combo. Even more burst damage that they really, really needed.
Yeah, I think I actually would have liked the silencer a little bit more than Lena. Like, Lena's fine here. She could do her job. No huge reason not to grab the Lena. But up against a Brewmaster, Enigma, and a Tiny IO combo, like, the silencers, Global Silence, is very easily going to be able to get out. Like, if you see the relocate coming in, you wait a couple seconds for it to, like, kind of charge up. And then as soon as the IO and Tiny were to arrive, you pop the Global Silence. They arrive, they have a lot less damage output, and then you're going to be able to clean them up pretty easily. And hopefully, you could also cancel out a Brewmaster potential split, Enigma's Black Hole, all that good stuff for ASC. It's going to be Scarif Mage picked up by the Power Rangers side instead, so it's looking to be an offlane Enigma for the Power Rangers side. This is, again, much like the last games, not exactly the most straightforward draft coming out from the Power Rangers side. 4ASC have a lot more, let's say, traditionally strong heroes, especially in this stage of the Dota 2 metagame, that it's hard not to favor them in this draft, but then again, you can never really underestimate the power of a Tiny. If he gets off to a semi-decent start, he can snowball out of control for 4ASC.
Yeah. Oh, Power Rangers, though, they're putting everything in the Tiny basket. They don't have anything else that scales into the late game, whereas 4ASC, they've essentially got 3 heroes that are going to do very well with farm. I want to include the Lion as well, but he's going to be in that support position, so unfortunately he's going to be a poor Lion. But Bristleback, Sniper, and Lena, if you give farm to those 3 heroes, they do very well, and especially that Lena. If I've yet to see a team build a Lena as a right clicker. It's predominantly been a lot of utility as well as magical burst, but never any sort of right click. During the late game, Fiery Souls is incredible. Your Lena's going to be attacking so quickly, so I feel like teams, they're not really experimenting this Lena to a full potential, but I suppose playing her as a spellcaster / utility hero during the early to mid game, it's fine. But during the late game, you just have to start transitioning into something harder. And when they're going up against this Tiny Wisp, I think they're going to have to definitely go in that direction.
Yeah,
Anyways,
really
who would you like
depends on
to
what
introduce?
you need. Like, sometimes your Lena is just going to be needed as a damage dealer. I don't think this is one of those games. Sniper Bristleback should provide enough damage output for ASC, and Valix, if he gets an Aghanim Scepter or a Yules or something like that, he'll be able to do quite a bit, even though he's not necessarily building into outright damage. So it's something that can potentially happen, but you really need to get really far ahead as a Lena, like extremely far ahead. Grab your Aghanims, grab your Yules. Yules is a necessity. Aghanims is, I guess, more optional, but it's, I think, mostly just rarely seen because Lenas typically don't get that level of farm. But for right now, guys, we're in Game 3, and let's see how these lanes are going to shape up for the Power Rangers. They're going to send the Enigma Cheshire Cat up towards the top lane. Dichira is going to be on the Brewmaster, King R on the Io with J4 on the Scarif Mage, and then down towards bottom, it's going to be Shotslow's Tiny.
On the die side, playing on our line, we're going to have Boogie. Heading up top, though, on our little sniper, we're going to have a Tumberman. He's actually going to be up here by himself. No supports are going to be anywhere up there because they're going to be heading around the middle lane / bottom lane. In the middle lane, we have Valix on our Lina. On our Clockwork, it's going to be Trixie. We have Nemphy finally on our Bristlebacks. That should conclude all the introductions. But these lanes, it feels like for AFC, they're just kind of figuring out what their lanes are as well. Actually, Nemphy, I think he just wanted to go for something, but he is going to be chased up by J4. And there is going to be a Brewmaster nearby. He's got no skill points anywhere for the moment, but I'm pretty sure he's got his finger ready just in case he needs it. But Bristleback Lina mid. But I think this Bristleback's going to be the one in the mid lane. Valix just kind of sitting in there just to grab some EXP. But Bristleback mid up against a Brewmaster. How do you think he's going to fare?
Well, for right now, Trixie, though, he's getting a beating because no one's helping him down there. It's a pretty greedy way to lane it for SEL, though I do think it is an appropriate decision as Brewmaster versus... It's just a melee versus melee, and, well, Bristleback typically does pretty well in those types of matchups. This is going to shove Lina over to a support role, which maybe could have been a little bit better if Lina was going towards mid, but they really didn't have the flexibility for that. Lina Lion is very easily able to get kills, especially on Eidolons. It's a lot of free gold for Boogie and Valix, and, well, gold is not going to be wasted on these supports, wards, and courier upgrades and whatnot. And, you know, bottom lane is going to be doing just fine. Trixie going up against IO Tiny and Scarith Mage. It's dangerous for sure, especially if he gets locked in the cogs with Shosh, though. He's getting beaten down, but Shoshlo's kind of low on mana for that toss, so the Clockwork will survive. But yeah, mid lane, bottom lane should be fine enough for 4ASC so that they can get away with this type of laning strategy. And Matubaman, if he does end up running into anyone, he'll be able to kill him off very easily with the help of those two supports, but he won't. Treasure Cat's going to go into the jungle as the Enigma, very Batrider-esque from him, and it looks like Power Rangers is going to completely concede the top lane. I'm not too surprised about this, actually.
I feel like they really have to contest the sniper. You can't just let a sniper free farm. If you can shut down a sniper relatively early, then you can really limit the impact that a sniper is going to have at all. But because Matumbaman's going to get this free farm, he's going to capitalize on it. I feel like he might play greedy this game, but then again, I could be wrong. He might just play like he normally does. But Power Rangers, they're putting everything in the tiny basket. They're going to have to try and grab whatever kind of lead that they are because they're giving away a top lane. Middle lane, it's not going to be an easy lane for the Brewmaster. He's not going to have an easy time pushing out the Bristleback, so he's just going to have to try and stay even with him for the moment. He could try and go for a solo kill if he gets the Primal Split, but that's a really big investment if you want a Primal Split for a Bristleback.
Boogie and Valix coming around from the side. They already have the Hex Spikes there, plus the LSA if needed. I don't really think it was needed. Brewmaster is going to be brought down. Bristleback softened him up a lot. And the duo support of Lion and Lina is some of the most lockdown damage you're going to find among two support heroes. So Brewmaster, as tanky as he is, just not survivable enough. He needs to get to that level 6 to be even a little bit safer, but even if he was level 6 there, I don't know if he could survive that burst combo. It's an easy first blood for 4ASC.
Yeah, but 4AFC, they need this. They need this win. They want this win, so they drafted really good roaming support. So as Power Rangers, they're playing greedy. They're playing with the Wisp. They're playing with, I don't really want to say Scarhead Mage is greedy, I guess, but he's just sitting here pulling. He's not rotating around. He's not going to help with getting any ganks because they've got very low gank potential aside from trying to grab a kill on the Clockwork. But Clock, he's got the cogs to fall back onto. So if anything goes wrong, as long as Trixie can get those cogs off, he is a very difficult kill. So the easiest kill for Power Rangers to actually go for is if they probably try and go for a smoke up top, but no one's in the lane to be there initially for any extra damage. So if they have some heroes just missing on the map, for AFC, they're probably going to notice this and they'll have the sniper back up because he doesn't really have an escape mechanism to speak of aside from the Mask of Madness that will eventually be coming his way. Although, is he going to go for... No, just going to go for the double Wraithband build on the sniper. So nothing greedy, just going to have it for some extra stats.
Yeah, it's incredibly defensive, actually, from the sniper. I thought going up against a 3v0, 1v0 lane, he could have gone for actually anything. Rushed a Mask of Madness, rushed a Hand of Midas even, and probably unpunished. Though Power Rangers would really like to punish the sniper up towards top, they don't really have the heroes to do it. Enigma's not going to enter this top lane again for a very long time because he's getting so much in the jungle, and King R is only level 2 as the IO. You're not going to have a relocate up to bring Sacho up there, and Brewmaster without the blink is going to have a tough time getting up there as well. They actually are going to rotate this Enigma back up to the top lane, but I have a feeling this Enigma isn't going to last very long. Sniper is not too far away from his assassinate level, and once a hex lands, if you have assassinate and shrapnel mana, you're going to get that kill every single time. So Cheshire Cat, I mean, it's nice to contest the farm, get some free lane experience, but I don't really know if he can actually get much up there, and this is hurting the bottom lane potentially a little bit more. King R is still just not leveling right now, and J4 is being tasked with the pulls. Trixie's messing with him. This is level 5 Clockwork. He's having such a great time up against the lane that he isn't really that powerful from Power Rangers to begin with, but with 4 heroes on the bottom lane, like 3 in the lane and then 1 in the jungle, you would expect the Clockwork to be having a much rougher time than this, but he's having a free one. And speaking of free one, Nemphy's going to go deep for the Brewmaster. I completely missed that, guys. My apologies, but I won't miss this one up towards top where Valix and Boogie are looking for a wraparound on the Enigma. He's feeling pretty safe, Cheshire Cat, until he's spotted. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Well, they're still under cover of smoke, so raise your frankers right now. I'm still pretty sure Cheshire Cat is dead. TP check, there's 1 in the Skywrath, 1 in the Tiny, and, well, I guess the Enigma has 1 as well, but that's irrelevant. There is an Assassinate on the Sniper, so if they walk in, Hex, Spike, Lina combo, Assassinate, that should be a very easy kill.
It should be very easy because look at this Enigma's HP pool, 625. Do you think he's going to survive the damage output from 3 heroes? Yeah, I don't think so. He's a pretty squishy hero. I was actually taking a look at Valix's build on the Lina. He's put an early point into Fiery Soul. He put it in there at level 3. What do you think is the mindset behind it? Is it just the value point for the extra movement speed, or is it actually for something else?
It's probably just for that extra MS. Like, wait, hold on. Let's see what happens to Cheshire Cat. There's the Spike, LSA, Assassinate, and they don't even need the Dragon Slave, but they cast it anyway. It's fine to grab as the Lina, although I do think if you're going to be running this pure support Lina, then you really need levels in your nukes more so than you need that Fiery Soul. 1 value point is fine, but yeah, he's getting so many kills, or enough for himself, that he can't afford to level debatably in a less than optimal fashion. So it's still going to be a kill for the 4 ASC side, and Bristleback, he's still doing very well over in mid. He's leading the Brewmaster in net worth and has even invested into a medallion. This is indicating to me that 4SC want to go for a much faster Roshan, but even if they don't, it's not impossible for 4SC to just focus down the Brewmaster splitlings. It's very easy, in fact, with so much physical damage from the Bristleback, so this is a pretty potent threat being held by this Bristleback.
Yeah. Dota, they managed to get a really nice rune down bottom. It was an invisibility rune, so if he wants to, he can try and go for a gank, but actually down bottom, Trixie going to be caught by both supports, so King R as well as JR. Can Trixie TP out? There's not enough damage from the supports, unfortunately, so that's a missed kill opportunity for Power Rangers. Trixie, he's laughing at back in the fountain, so he's going to be pretty much safe and sound. He's hit level 6, actually, just off that TP too. So this is when Trixie's going to be quite potent. He could try and go for a solo kill if he wants to, or he can go mid lane and try to get a setup and grab some kills on the supports, plus that Bristleback, while they make space for Matamba Man on that Sniper. Sniper's still farming away. He's getting very close to a Mask of Madness. He's got the Morbid Mask plus 300 gold, but there are 2 heroes up in this top lane. We have our Brewmaster with the fresh level 6 and the split, plus Cheshire Cat on the Enigma. So they see Boogie, they just want to go Boogie, but look how quickly this line goes down. Doesn't even have to pop the split. He does through an Earth Spike though, but unfortunately that crit's going to finish off the line. Matamba Man hiding behind the tower. Is there going to be any reinforcement though? Looks like there might be, but it's not on the right team. It's J4 coming in. We will have Memphi coming in shortly, but they can't really do anything to kill the Brewmaster. He's still got the split available, so even if he drops low, he could just pop the split and get out of there.
Yeah, it was pretty aggressive there from Matamba Man to actually drop all charges of his shrapnel, because without any support, you're not going to get that kill on the Brewmaster. He has mana for split, therefore he's going to live every single time. And maybe even pushing your luck, because maybe there's an IO relocate in. This time there wasn't, because IO, well, he's still only level 3, but they're still positioned up towards top with the split available to go for the kill onto the Sniper. The support is coming once again. It's going to be Boogie, unless he's going to go down towards bottom lane. Trixie's going aggro versus King R, who's going to pull away to the left, then tether all the way back to the Tiny. So he'll be just fine unless the hook shot lands onto the IO. It's going to land a shot zone with a double damage rune. You don't want to fight that. Even though Bristleback is coming, that's not something that they could actually dive unless they want a suicide. That's fine too. Sometimes you just got a suicide. Bristleback is going to tank all of that. However, like a champ, he took a lot less damage than I thought. Here comes J4, and Nemphy is going to just walk in and then walk out. It's not quite suicide, but it was a pointless dive nonetheless. And killing off Shotjo and King R, you got to focus down the IO first.
Yeah, but this Ayu is so elusive, especially when he has a partner with him there. And because of how quickly Sacho is able to move with the Tiny, he's put 1 point into grow so far, so he's moving relatively quickly. Not as quick as you'd like him to, but he's still a pretty quick bastard. In the middle lane there, we've got Alina. He's going to start grabbing some of his own levels, getting close to level 6. It's got one more level to go, and then we're going to have that Laguna Blade coming online. Our Lion, on the other hand, he's still stuck at level 4, getting close to 5, so Finger of Death is going to be quite a bit away, because we've got so many heroes on the side of 4 ASC that need so much farm. Down bottom, there's actually no one down here, so it would be a good time for Lion to soak it up, but he's going to go for an Ancient Camp pull, so what a trooper helping his teammates out. He's going to give Trixie the lane. Oh man.
Gonna come up to a quad stack right now, and Bristleback will be able to clear that one out pretty easily. Extra armor from the medallion certainly helping out there. Even if you just keep it on the Bristleback instead of putting it as a debuff onto the Ancients, he'll be able to clear that one out unless he gets jumped by Shotchlo. This is very dangerous for Nemphy. He of course does not know about this, otherwise he would not be here. His back is turned. He's gonna take a beating though. This is probably gonna be a possible kill for Shotchlo, assuming Nemphy is going to be playing a very greedy Bristleback role. And currently, he doesn't see Sacho on the map. So he may think that something's up, but at the same time, you got to clear out this Ancient stack. Sacho's running out of Invis Rune, however. There is a Clockwork right behind the Bristleback, but Nemphy's dropping low. Avalanche, toss, that's going to kill off Nemphy. And Sacho, patience is rewarded. He also dodges a hook shot, and he's also going to steal a couple of the smaller lizards on the way out. A pretty nice win for this Tiny as he gets closer to his Aghanim Scepter. Up towards top, though, I got this one. Is going to get hexed up, spiked up, LSA, assassinate, everything in the kitchen sink. Brewmaster's going to die. Split, though, up is not going to save you up against that much disable.
Well, unfortunate there. You lose your Bristleback to Sacho. Power Rangers actually needed something to really bolster the farm of the Tiny, so all of a sudden Tiny, point booster, treads, and 1.7k gold, so he's getting very close to the Ags. That should be a 15-minute Aghanims, as long as the Tiny can get uncontested farm, and maybe just a bonus in a couple of kills would be really good for him too. And that's going to be pretty much Tiny's, you could say, primary item picked up. Picking up that Aghanims, so that means that he's going to be cleaving through some of these heroes, and as he gets more and more items, he's going to be very deadly. He is actually going to be coming through the tree line. They managed to cut through the trees, and Trixie, he will manage to get out safely, but the Wisp is going to be there to help Sacho heal him up a little bit and move it a little bit faster, although there is going to be a little bit of reinforcement by Memphy, but unfortunately the Tiny Wisp has already left the lane, so he's just going to go take the rune and see what he can actually grab. Just the bounty, unfortunately. Haste rune will be up top. Who's going to grab that? If it goes on to Dityara, then that means that the Brewmaster can definitely go for another kill. He's actually not got his Blink Dagger. You can see how much this Panda has struggled in this lane.
Yeah, and it's not really surprising to see this Brewmaster have such a tough time. 3 deaths definitely doesn't help you either, but he's getting a lot of farm on this top lane to actually get some time for his Blink Dagger, and he will have that one soon enough. Really, the thing I'm most surprised about is King R's experience level on this IO. He's not yet level 6, and it's 12, pushing 13 minutes in this game. Scarth Mage does have that level, so his kill potential is up there and then some. Being able to amplify an Avalanche Toss combo is absolutely disgusting. But King R needs that relocate so that they can actually start looking for some fights with this Brewmaster. If Brewmaster does get his Blink and King R does not have relocate, or vice versa, then these ultimates just aren't as good for the Power Rangers side. Similarly for the Black Hole, Enigma will be able to throw a Black Hole freely and get kills reliably if he has relocate incoming as backup. But until that happens, well, the kill potential of Power Rangers drastically decreases. J4 is going to clean up an Ancient for himself. He's going to get roughed up by a Dragon. I don't know if he could do that, especially with a hook shot right around the corner. He's being held by the Clockwork, and it looks like Dityara being there as backup is going to scare the clock away. But they are going to get level 6 on King R. They are going to get their Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster. So now Power Rangers are almost fully online. And for 4 ASC, yeah, they have a Sniper who's free farming. He's farming quite a bit as well, but he is far from invulnerable to this incoming combo of Power Rangers.
Yeah, I feel like this is a Blink Dagger game for Sniper. He needs a lot of mobility. There's no Vengeful Spirit there to keep you safe if you get jumped on. So I feel like he has to get some sort of mobility, whether it just be a Sand and Yasha. He's got the Yasha already. He's got the Mask of Mana, so he's moving pretty quickly, but I feel like this is a Blink game. I could be wrong. First relocate of the game, gonna go up top Biggie, though he misses the stun, and that's gonna be a very dead line. Oh, actually, he's still alive for 1 second longer, but Slashley just cleaves him to death with his giant tree. This is actually the first time I've seen a tiny with 1 point into grow with the acronyms.
Really? You should see it
Yeah.
with 0 points and grow. That is amazing.
I know. I want to see it, man.
He's
but
so
it just never
tiny and
happens.
he's like struggling to hold it. It's adorable. But
Yeah.
Chacha now has level 2 grow, so hitting for 200 a pop, not bad for 14 minutes in. In fact, it's quite good. And Overcharge, it's only level 1 for right now, but it's really the Avatos combo that is going to be making this Tiny get his gold and kills. But either way, he's just going to be farming up Ancients very easily. It's going to heavily benefit King R as well. More points in the Overcharge as this IO does grow in level. Not to mention the Spirits, which are just now maxed out. And Power Rangers, they can actually afford to sit back on this Tiny. Even though, you know, late game, Sniper and Bristleback, they are dangerous heroes. Tiny with IO combination, that's just the king of combos. You're going to be able to get away with so much if you just get that combo going, especially if you have Brewmaster as backup. He hasn't used his Blink Dagger yet, nor has the Enigma used his Black Hole, but they're ready to go. They have Blink Dagger and Force Staff on Brew and Enigma respectively, and now they're going to smoke up with J4 and looking for some blood up towards the top. Matuba Man, he has 2 TP scrolls, so he should be able to TP out of here, and he has a lot of movement speed with all of his items. Is he spotted though? Because if he's spotted just for a second, then he's just going to die.
Man, Power Rangers, they want this little dwarven sniper blood. Now, they are smoked up, so when they get close towards this tree line, they're going to know that he's there, but they're just going to wait. They're hoping that he's going to come in through this section here, but that's not quite so. So they're going to hang around for a little bit longer, but the smoke does pop eventually anyway, so they're going to have to hide behind their tree line for the moment. Now, for AFC, they don't even know that they're up top, but they have their eyes set on Cheshire Cat down bottom to Trixie. He'll be jumped on a little bit by Cheshire. The 2 supports there, they're going to hang back. And Matamba Man still in the top lane. All they can do really is just watch them as they take that tower. I hope he doesn't get trigger happy and just start throwing shrapnels, because he does throw the shrapnel. They know he's there, but they've already TP'd the 2 heroes down bottom. So there's a little bit of a tussle. Trixie, he's down to half HP. He's got the hook shot. He's going to hook shot to his teammate. Sorry, that's a creep. So he's going to be out safe and sound, but that means the hookshot's going to be on cooldown. And for ASC, they get nothing and they lose their T1 tower up top.
Well, they also gain a tier 1 tower over in mid. Nemphy was busy in the meantime, and he has quite a bit of damage having level 2 Warpath. So Nemphy was able to clear that one out, making an even tower trade overall. Still, Power Rangers are sitting on a lot of assets, and though they can probably get away with not using their split and not using their black hole, you would rather have those 2 spells always be cooling down than always be available, simply because that means you're getting value out of them. Right now, it's not even like Power Rangers have a Brewmaster on their team, simply because he hasn't done anything. So Power Rangers, they have to actually kick into gear with these heroes. Otherwise, for 4ASC, they're all pretty much doing their jobs. Level 7 on Lion, as well as level 7 on Lena. They can very easily burst people down. Just throw both ultimates, and usually that's a done deal. But you also have the Spike and Dragon Slave and a whole slew of other skills in addition to that. And the Clockwork's also having a very easy time. Smoke's going to be blown on either side. Double damage rune eaten by the Bristleback. But he will not want to test what's in the Roshan pit. He doesn't know that it was just a Scarith Mage, but he has to respect that Scarith Mage's backup potential with his allies. Relocate especially. So it looks like this game is just going to be a really passive farming one. Even though both sides have so much kill potential now, they're just unwilling to look and put themselves at risk.
Yeah, well, they don't even have to put themselves at risk at this point, Power Rangers. They're going to pretty much put everything into Sludge, so keep him alive, just feed him kills if necessary, whereas for ASC, they're trying to get farm everywhere, actually. Both supports are farming the jungle together. They've got Trixie in lane trying to get whatever he can. He's trying to go for an Aghanim Scepter. The Bristleback, he's sitting in the middle lane with the double damage rune, so he can't really farm the mid lane because it's a tiny wisp. It's a little bit too scary even for Bristleback, whereas our Sniper, he's pretty much hogging the top lane for himself. It's the safest lane, he's getting farm, so may as well just keep farming away. So I feel like for ASC, it's pretty much a win situation for them, whereas Power Rangers, yes, they're farming up their tiny, but their other heroes are just becoming more and more irrelevant. They are going to go for a clap onto Trixie. He goes to the cogs, relocate right in front of him. Blade Mail has been popped, but That's a dead clockwork. You can't really save him. And they're going to lose a T1 tower as well. They're going to glyph it just to reset the glyph at least. But actually, never mind. For ASC, they want to try and go for a fight. 2 supports are coming in as well as Matamba Man. So they really want to fight. They don't really find anything though because the Tiny Wisp has already... Actually, no. Oh yeah, they have relocated. Never mind. I am blind. I'm blind.
They yank themselves out of the bottom lane, plus the Brewmaster, still holding on to a split, is probably not going to end up casting his first one until he has level 2 on that. But they go in for a very easy kill on the Clockwork. It's not really a huge amount of gold there. They do get the Tower Destruction, which is an extra bonus. So Tower plus Clockwork for more or less nothing but cooldowns, and well, they have to be pretty happy with that. So the tier 1 mid tower is somehow still alive for 4 ASC, and well, similarly bottom lane for Power Rangers still standing. That shouldn't be the case for too long, as Power Rangers should be able to swoop in and take that one. But Shacho has actually gone for a very early Black King bar on the Tiny. It's a good item to have on the Tiny, and no one's going to doubt that, but usually when you grab a BKB, you want to be fighting with it directly afterwards. But it just doesn't seem like this is the game where Power Rangers are looking to fight, and I would have liked to see a different item, like a Yasha item perhaps on Tiny, or an AC build-up. It's a better item to go for if you're planning on playing things more passively, as they clearly are.
I think it's just for defensive purposes. In case he gets jumped on by 4 ASC, then at least he's able to turn around and go for counter kills and maybe just either force them back or just keep on trying to rush at them. Because, yeah, early BKB on a Tiny, you'd think that he would only pick that up because he's under pressure, but he's not. He's free farming, he can just relocate for kills. He's pretty much living the life of any sort of Tiny. So I feel like this BKB, it's either because they want to fight, which is what it seems like for the moment, or it's just for defensive purposes where if he gets jumped on, then he can just BKB and turn it around. That's all I can really grab from the BKB pick. I don't see him picking it up for any other reason. The only issue, though, is that he picked it up so early that he cannot refresh this BKB. So once he uses it in the late game, it's going to be a 5-second BKB charge no matter what. No resets, no nothing. So he's going to make this count.
Speaking of counting, down towards bottom lane, Matuba is going to get jumped by 2. Mystic Flare is just narrowly on the mark. Chacho's going to come in with the Avalanche and steal that kill. Hyperstone now up on the Tiny, so even though he has deterred a little bit from his primary items for that BKB, for whatever reason, he is going to go right back into a Hornet's Nest. Actually, it'll just be the Io. He landed into a whole pile of heroes, and that's going to be the Io's death. But still, Io for Sniper, very much so worth it. Still, the Brewmaster's holding on to this split. Man, could have been any other hero right now for Dichiron. It would have been so much better. But for right now, they're going to go towards this mid lane, tier 1, beat it down in 2 hits, and Tiny now has plate mail gold. This Tiny is getting an outrageous amount of farm, but Bristleback and Sniper, they're not too far behind. I don't know if they could kill off a Tiny heads-up fight, but really the only chance that they have is the fact that Chacho does have that BKB, which will eventually start to dwindle as he got it so early. So 20 minutes in, and Power Rangers taking out a couple of tier 1s, but that's pretty much all they've done. Brewmaster, Enigma have been pretty much just AFK this entire game. They haven't really done anything.
Well, do they have to do anything though? Everything just seems to be coming together nicely for Power Rangers. So if you have space for these heroes, just why not farm? Now we have Nemphi down here by himself. There is going to be the Enigma jumping into lane though. Cheshire Cat just going to throw some Eidolons and keep pushing along that wave. But he has a BKB. Now, he's gone for the poor man's Blink Dagger and the 4 stuff, which I find is quite interesting. It's going to help not just him, but also his teammates if they do get caught out. But it still means that for ASC, they just have to worry about that constant threat of a black hole, and they now have nothing to cancel it out once the BKB has been popped. So that's going to be troublesome. Actually, never mind. They could use the hookshot, I suppose, but I feel like Clockwork should already be in the fights while the black hole is being used.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it's supposed to go, at least for 4ASC. They're supposed to be in there with the Clockwork, and then for Power Rangers, Cheshire Cat's going to be in the back. He'll force staff himself in, get the black hole off. It's certainly a pretty dangerous threat, but because he went for the force staff as kind of anti-Clockwork tech, he's not going to have the best of positionings for a potential black hole, and this Enigma is pretty much building only towards that black hole. So I think even though he does have this force staff, he's going to have to build up a BKB as well. They're going to jump into Valix. This Lena caught in the wrong side of the river, and Scarth Mage is going to draw that kill. Slowly but surely, Power Rangers are just getting a steady stream of kills. They also are right around the corner from Nemphi right now, and they do see him. I think there's an Observer Ward in there. Yes, there is. So they know exactly where the Bristle is. they can't really punish him just yet. Relocate is primed and ready, however. Shochlo is going to grab his Assault Cuirass shortly and probably rejoin his team down towards bottom. Maybe we could see a team fight erupt for the Power Rangers side, since they've been sitting on these ultimates for, 23 minutes so far. They are still farming up on this Tiny, though. With an Assault Cuirass coming, this tower should be easily dropped. Cheshire Cat's going to pop a BKB. Okay, that's not how you use that item, although they do relocate in. King are going to drop very low very quickly. Cogs will kill him off. And now Shochlo's forced to pop his BKB and TP out. They have the hook shot still. No, they don't. They will be forced to let the Tiny get away, but those are two 10-second BKB charges used for Power Rangers, and it didn't do anything.
I'm not sure why Cheshire Cat actually popped his BKB at that point. I think he wanted to try and go for a solo black hole kill, but unfortunately is just not in range. I think he just underestimated the range that the 4-staff allows you to move. So yeah, a couple of wasted BKB charges. They lose the Wisp as well, and that just pretty much opened up Roshan before ASC, although Wisp is coming up very soon, but he's probably not even going to be up by the time this Roshan dies because he is going down so quickly. So Aegis going to be claimed on Nymphy on the Bristleback, which I feel like is okay. They could have put on Matama Man, but then again, if your snipers died, he's going to come back and he's probably going to be sitting right under a Tiny, so he would have died anyway. So I feel like Nymphy with the Bristleback holding the Aegis, it's just a much better decision.
Yeah, and right now for Power Rangers, they have a lot to kill off this Bristleback, so the odds of him dying last in a fight, though possible, are not as high as in any other games. They're going to catch Trixie on the retreat over in mid. Blade Mail's going to keep him safe from a Mystic Flare, but there's a lot of other heroes here too. They will get the kill on the Clockwork even after Shock was bumped back twice. Assassinate Io won't quite kill him off. I got this one dropping very low. Will be forced to split out of necessity. And the Brewmaster once again is, well, I mean, split used, I guess. Yay, first time, 25 minutes in. It's going to do next to nothing except for help him disengage, and that might even be the case. He has a Blink Dagger. Earth Panda on the run, though, from a Tuberman. Assassinate is going to miss, actually. A little bit too late, but the Blink Dagger on Boo. With the Blink forward across the river, Brewmaster will die to the Shrapnel in the end. And it will just be an even trade. However, up towards top, I think a tower was destroyed. Yeah, Tiny was able to take that one out for the team, so overall map objectives going the way of Power Rangers, but still they're facing up against an Aegis Bristleback, and that's why they're going to be, for the most part, avoiding these fights.
Man, this has been a very lackluster game for Dota. We've seen him, second game, completely dominating. I guess not completely dominating, but he was just incredibly annoying. First game, he was a monster as well, whereas this game, he's just been completely degraded to nothing. He's just done very little on the Brewmaster. I feel like he's hitting his head on his keyboard as well, thinking, why did you give me a Brewmaster? Could you please give me something else? Because he just hasn't really done anything. Yeah, that was the first split he used in the entire fight, and that was to get out. It wasn't for anything else. It was just to get out of there, but man, just poor Dota. I could feel him screaming in my head. Please. Please give me back my Storm Spirit.
Storm Spirit unfortunately banned. That's what happens when you play too well. You end up getting your favorite heroes banned. So what you have to do is play really poorly on your favorite heroes so that you can play them more in the future. You gotta go in for the long con. It's all very simple. There's a double damage rune in the river right now, and Power Rangers, they're right across the way from 4ASC, but no, they still don't want to fight. Shochlo and King are both just going to rejoin up towards top and continue on with the split push train. Tiny is very quickly going to get 6 slotted in this game. 3 of his items, or I guess 4 of his items, are going to be permanent mainstays in his inventory with 3,200 gold left. Manta Style or a Daedalus, maybe even both for Shochlo, and then he's pretty much done. And with the Quelling Blade still on the hero, he's going to be clearing out this top wave very quickly. The rest of the team, though, they're not actually split pushing or doing anything else as a 3-man group. In fact, for some reason, Dota is still up on top. They're itching for a fight up on top lane, but for ASC, they're more than okay with letting that go if it means taking a tower for themselves. They'll blink in on the Lion, catch Cheshire Cat. Figure Death is not enough mana, actually. With Assassinate, it will fall short. Now here comes the combo of the Io Tiny. They'll kill off one. They'll Avalanche toss Nymphy. He has the Aegis, so he's okay with taking all these hits. Brewmaster Split is gonna stun Nymphy, I guess. That's, again, all it does. So back up to the top lane go the Io and Tiny, and well, they'll throw the Bristleback into the air as one final act of defiance, but TP is already going back for 4ASC. They're not going to lose much structural health on this tower, and they might even get a retaliation kill here. Actually, Clockwork doesn't have his hook shot. Looks like he already used and missed it. And it looks like they will back off from top lane. At the same time, they'll back off from bottom. And it's just going to be one kill on the Lion after all is said and done. However, set up down towards bottom. I got this one. No longer has his ultimate to get himself out of this. Laguna Blade will kill off the Brewmaster. Here comes the Tiny to get an avalanche on the Bristleback. Trying to toss him back, will fall short, however. And Bristleback trying to taunt the Tiny with the Aegis, but he will back off safe and sound. This Brewmaster still has just not done anything for his team. At least he has a Vlad's now, so that just by staying alive, he can contribute.
Yeah, he's unfortunately DUR's just been I don't want to say promoted, but more so demoted to an aura bot at this point. He just doesn't really do anything for the team, unfortunately. He's still going to be useful though, especially with the Drunken Haze that he can throw on the Sniper during the late game. Sniper, eventually he probably will pick up an MKB just because Tiny, he's prone to picking up butterflies because Tiny butterfly, why not? Evasion's wonderful. So until that happens, I feel like Matama Man's just always going to be on the back foot because the Tiny's so big, Matama Man can't do enough damage to finish him off. They've tried to draft a team to make up for the lack of damage until the Sniper is eventually 6 slot, but I still feel like it's not enough. Even though they have a Lina as well as a Lion, they still need a lot more damage than this. And this feels like this is the problem when they draft a Clockwork. Clockwork's not going to give you any extra damage. He gives you cogs and hook shots. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else that Trixie can really provide you unless he goes for something quirky like a Dagon, but that's impossible. You never buy Dagon on Clockworks.
And even on the Bristleback, he's gone for the fully upgraded Crimson Guard plus the kind of cost-effective item in the Medallion. These are all fine to have. They're good items on the Bristleback, but not when you need damage dealers. Still, they're getting a lot of time on Matuma Man, so they will eventually get this Sniper 6-slotted or close to it. He's going to grab the Demon Edge, and already he's going to, add 50% or something damage to his overall DPS output. But while there's a Demon Edge on the Sniper, there's a freaking Daedalus on the Tiny. And I would say the Daedalus hurts a little bit more than the Demon Edge. I don't know what Shotchlo is critting at right now, but I can guarantee that it's going to be enough to 1, maybe even 2-shot that Sniper. Boogie especially. He's invis, so he's safe for now, but he doesn't have much duration left. He will place an Observer Ward right behind. In the meantime, they'll kill off the Skywrath Mage, but they're setting up for a relocate, I want to say, or chasing down the Lion. Either way, it's just going to be a kill on the Skywrath Mage. Hook shot onto the Brewmaster. I think there's going to be another defensive split, and he's going to have to hope that the Earth Bruling gets outside of this. But he's going to run out of mana, actually. Desperately trying to drink his bottle, but he'll fall short. Oh, man. Drunken Haze in a man fight situation, yeah, it's fine, but you got to count your mana, Dichira. You got to count your mana.
You can definitely tell that. You can tell that he's not comfortable in this hero. It's been all game. He just hasn't really had the impact. So you can see Brewmaster's not a dit. You're right. Little unfortunate there, but
Alex,
hopefully he does. Well,
yeah, this bottom lane engagement. Lina's gonna drop. BKB though was used by Cheshire Cat, expecting more for ASC heroes there. That's the second time he used the BKB, and it was only for a single Lina, who in that position is probably going to die anyway. So BKBs are dwindling here for Power Rangers. They haven't really been using them effectively. Tiny still has 9 seconds. That's quite a lot of time, but Enigma not as much.
Yeah, Cheshire Cat's really burning through the BKB charges as well, because if you think about it, we haven't really had a true 5-on-5 team fight, have we? We've just been having heroes just kind of going in and out, in and out. You just never have everybody there at the same time. It's either Tiny Whispers elsewhere and they have to relocate in, or there's the Clockwork that comes in a little bit later on after a couple of heroes have died. So never have we had a full 5-on-5 engagement. So unfortunately Cheshire Cat, he's got to be careful with those BKB charges. He's going to need it eventually, and he just can't use it so freely at this point. Yes, he can be a bit scared that there are going to be heroes that could probably burst him down, but I feel like you still need to save it for that potential team fight where you need that BKB, because he cannot refresh this, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for him to deal with in the future, especially if he does constantly pop them on fights where you don't really need anything close to resembling a BKB. He could have had no items, and they still could have killed off the Lina with the Tiny there. He is, by the way, up to 3,000 gold. He has a TP scroll to replace in his inventory, but Shotchlo has been farming up a Storm, has sold his Quelling Blade, because Daedalus typically adds more damage. And now he just has one more item slot to fill. If Power Rangers continue to sit back after they get the 6-slotted Tiny, then it's just going to be asking for trouble because Matuma Man is going to be farming, Nemphy's going to be farming, hell, even Velix can go into a little bit more of a damage build as we were talking about very early on in this game. Linus hasn't really gotten off to a fantastic start, so she's going to be a more mediocre damage hero, the usual Lina stuff really. But yeah, the 4ASC side are getting a lot of time to farm. There's an Assault Cuirass in the works for Nemphy, and he is very close to that. Not to mention the Demon Edge item for Sniper, most likely to be that MKB to deal with the haze. They actually do see Nemphy right now. Power Rangers blink forward with the relocate. 3 heroes there already. Mystic Flare being held. Avalanche, no toss just yet, just beat down. They will throw the Brewmaster on top of the Bristleback, and they'll get that kill. Relocate back up to the top lane. Will they be safe? Yes, they will definitely be safe. Shoshzo and King R might even look for another kill here, but it's a very easy kill on the Bristleback. But Power Rangers, again, they just disperse every which way, and they're not looking for any objectives afterwards. In fact, they might get jumped up towards top because Shoshzo is going to get aggressed upon. BKB is forced out. Second BKB charge in the Tiny burned now for, again, pretty much nothing except for an escape.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he popped a BKB. I guess it was just to save his life, but I guess King R would have been there as well with the tether just to keep him alive. But I guess, yeah, he's just using the BKB defensively. He doesn't use it aggressively because he's saying, well, when these fights are happening, you're not going to be focusing me down anyway, because if you focus me down, my teammates are going to be there for me. So Sachdo very confident in his teammates, especially during these team fights, just saying, okay, BKB is just in case I might die from a solo kill if I'm out of position or if I'm a little bit too far from my teammates. But Roshan will go down in the way of Power Rangers as soon as Tiny gets there, because unfortunately everyone else aside from Tiny can't really do jack to Roche because they don't do damage at all.
Doing damage is usually pretty nice.
Yeah,
I always hope my heroes do damage whenever I play this game. But yeah, right now for ASC, they have perfect vision over this Roshan pit. They are spotted right now, or at least Nemphy's is. Still Stray Observer Ward here, which was previously used to kill off the Bristle, still in the area. And they do have another relocate to work with for this Io Tiny combo. Here's really where the Io Tiny comes into play in a utility sense. They're going to be able to split push up towards top lane while at the same time essentially having all 5 heroes available for this Roche fight. And with all these trees cleared, there's a pretty much perfect line of sight for the Power Ranger side. Cheshire Cat's up into the other high ground now, thinking about Midnight Pulse. Will drop it onto Nemphy's. And with the stun, Bristleback's going to get relocated upon. Boogie also going to blink right into his doom, however. There's the split, finally going to do something. Mystic Flare is there as well. Cheshire Cat busts the BKB. Black holes for 0 seconds, and he will throw that one away. But it's still a free 2 kill for Power Rangers, and now they're going to chase down for more. Trixie's should be just fine. Brewmaster going to zone out pretty much everyone else. In the meantime, Shocho is in the Roshan pit, clearing that one out. Matuma Man's going to jump right back in, trying to go for J4, but suddenly Tiny, he's going to throw the sniper up into the air. He gets thrown up to the air himself, but he still has that BKB, and he'll use it to go towards Trixie. Avalanche, one more right click's going to kill off the Clockwork. Hook shot in. Shocho's still alive right now, and he's going to turn around, fight to death because he does have that age. Matuma Man in the meantime going to try to run away from the Brewmaster. He will kite and kill off the Brew, and then turn around, try to focus down the Tiny, who's going to respawn right into a Laguna Blade. King R does not have a relocate, but he has a regen rune, and no one's actually hitting him. He finally gets hit by a random Quill Spray, but they're going to keep Shocho alive. Grabs a double kill. Now chasing forward from Matuma Man, though the Yule Scepter was going to keep the sniper alive for right now. Shocho is still on the run, but he's being kited every which way, even with that tether moon speed. He needs to get an avalanche to land on Matuma Man. He will throw it. He will miss, and now with the TP coming in, it's going to be Boogie back from the dead. He'll kill off the Io. They're going to lock down Shocho with a couple of stuns. Hex not available any longer, but with those headshots, Shocho is having a really difficult time running out of here. Another assassinate, or another shrapnel layer on the ground rather. Blink forward spike. Shocho is going to die, and for ASC, keep Matuma Man alive, grab a godlike spree on their Lion, and ultimately come away with a pretty nice victory, even though things seemed so bad. Cheshire Cat did nothing in that fight again as the Enigma.
That could not have gone any better for 4ASC. Now, during that fight, we saw the weakness in Power Rangers. When there's no one there, Tiny and Wisp are very, very vulnerable on their own, especially the Wisp. Wisp is so fragile, it's ridiculous, but when you can kite the Tiny as well, Matuma Man, he did so well. He just kept running, hitting, running, hitting. He did not have to stay in the same spot. He said, okay, I'm just going to keep on kiting you. I'm going to be relying on my bashes as well as my headshots to keep that gap between you. And when there's no relocate, when there's no force stuff, there's no blink dagger on the Tiny or the Wisp to help them catch up to the sniper, then that's the weakness of your Tiny. You can kite the Tiny. So if everyone else has gone for Power Rangers and all the crowd control is gone, what can the Tiny do to really catch up to the opponent? opponents aside from maybe tossing the Wisp and hoping that you get the slow from the tether? Absolutely nothing. So for ASC, let's see if they can maintain the momentum that they have managed to gain from that team fight. Power Rangers though, they got to keep up their previous momentum. They've got to keep these heroes controlled. Just quickly burst them down as soon as possible. Get them to spread out, isolate the sniper, and pick him off. Because he's not running on anything like a Blink Dagger or a 4-staff. There's no swap, so if you can catch him, you've got him.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard, though, especially since
Yeah.
Tiny's last item isn't that Manta style that I was talking about before. It's a Heart of Tarask, and that's a fine item on Tiny. Like, he has 4,000 frickin' HP. Good luck grinding through that, but if he is going to get kited much like we just saw, then this Heart of Tarask is just going to be a momentary hiccup in 4ASC's damage output. Yeah, you'll have to deal with 1,000 more HP, but they can eventually get through that, so... Shachzo is completely capped out right now, and he really needs his allies to start stepping up, but what can his allies do? The Brewmaster split last fight was primarily a zoning tool. They had no black hole. Now Valix can look for initiation on Shachzo, forces out the BKB charge, now down to 6 seconds, and that's the third time I think that Shachzo has been using his BKB purely defensively. They have a split, they have a black hole. If Power Rangers can land a decent one, then yeah, they'll be able to kill off a whole bunch of 4ASC heroes, but that's so far been a pretty big if. They get a tower deny, which is pretty sweet for the Power Rangers side, but that's about all they've gotten so far. And, well, for ASC, they're still just getting farm on Matuma Man. He's going to buy out quite a lot of gold. It's an Eye of Scotty being built for him, so talking about kiting. He has so much movement speed, Monkey King Bar, and Headshot for additional, I guess, chance slows, and then Eye of Scotty for a guaranteed slow. He's a kite king right now.
Yeah, Memphi, I'm hoping he goes for a Abyssal Blade eventually. That stun is going to be so crucial, especially when they're trying to go for kills on the Tiny. Even if they use it for the Enigma, if he has a black hole, I feel like an Abyssal Blade would be a great pickup for Memphi, but he wants to go for an Assault Cuirass first. It's going to be nice. It'll give extra attack speed to the sniper. It'll give the extra armor to your teammate, as well as the armor degen. So essentially, it's going to even out the playing field because they're going up against a Assault Cuirass. I managed to just clip the end of that kill. Trixie, no more. Rest in peace, my friend, but unfortunately, there's going to be no counter kill on the side of 4ASC, so they cannot redeem the death of their friend there. Rest in pieces, Trixie.
Very easy kill there for Power Rangers. Relocate in after Enigma sets some stuff up, forces the cogs out, and well, that's a pretty cut and dry kill there. They're going to go for a push off of that one. And you might as well with the 6-slotted Tiny and being at a 4v5 situation. This is as good as it's going to get, really, for the Power Rangers side. But Assassinate can force the IO out, and the tower is not really going to be fully committed by Shach, so now he is going to. Has a whole bunch of teamfight ultimates right behind him. But it's a tier 2 tower down, 41 minutes in the game. I don't really think 4ASC really care about the fact they lost a tier 2 tower. Those are completely expendable. Even tier 3 towers aren't really going to bother them that much as long as they keep hold of their Raxes. So this game is going to probably go the distance, and that's really bad for Power Rangers since with a 6-slotted Tiny, he's not going to get any stronger, at least not by a substantial amount. One more level of strength growth, I suppose, but yeah, they want to be ending the game or looking towards ending the game pretty soon with this Tiny, but they simply can't because there's a lot more farm for ASC, which is still coming up, and they're a little bit further away from getting 6-slotted themselves. Sniper can replace the Sanjin Yasha and his Mask of Madness with bigger, heavier hitting items. Same thing for Bristleback. He has an Ogre Club. He has this Hyperstone that he can build into. 4SC have a lot of ways to grow their items, but Power Rangers, they're essentially capped out right now. This is as strong as they're going to get.
Well, I guess Power Rangers, they can still get a little bit stronger in the Brewmaster and the Enigma, but that's about it. Their supports, I guess if you get something on J4 to really bump up his intelligence gain, then I guess the Arcane Bolt's going to be doing a little bit extra as well. But yeah, this is probably going to be almost as strong as Power Rangers will ever get. They cannot increase their late game potential anymore. Suchlo, they're tiny. He's everything. He's actually going to change his boots into boots of travel, so he's going to sell his treads back at base eventually. He just had the shoes courier to him right now, so fresh shoes for Suchlo. So he's going to be all over the map anyway, and that means that even though he may try and go for his own sort of split push, he doesn't even need the Tiny anymore to go for those relocate ganks. He can just use his boots of travels if completely necessary. Although we have what seems to be a potential gank up in the top lane. There's a line even drawn out by the Scarab Mage. He's telling his teammate, okay, Ditira, they're coming for you, my friend, please. Please get out of there. They will throw the rocket flare. It's not going to give any vision, unfortunately. Never mind, they actually catch vision of Dota. How did he know? Trixie, the plays. And unfortunately, this Panda, he's going to be stuck in the trees. BKB deployed. Going to go for a TP, and that's going to be a safety at Ura. So what a play from Trixie, but unfortunately, they just did not have enough follow-up to kill off that Brewmaster.
They still get a 10-second BKB charge out, though. That's probably pushing 9 or 10 times now that Power Rangers, as a team, have used BKB defensively, which is not how you want to be using the item. Rainbow of TPs, one will be cancelled down towards the bottom lane, but they do take down the Choo Tower. I suppose a nice little win for the Power Ranger side, but again, it's just a tier 2. Tiny's not going to use the gold for anything. I suppose the other heroes kind of will, although not by much. They're going to look towards mid lane now. 2-man going to close in. Eye of Scotty slow, plus all the headshot procs, instantly forcing the split out. And Brewmaster can do nothing but chuck a boulder and run the other way. Such an easy force out from 4ASC. If they had any sort of stun there, Clockwork especially, that could have potentially been a very easy kill on not a super important hero for Power Rangers. It's not the Tiny, but still any kill is a kill at this stage in the game because it opens the door for a push.
Yeah, so that's going to be Sasho. Boots are traveling up top into the top lane. Just going to leave his Wisp buddy, unfortunately, down to the bottom lane. So King R, if he wants to meet up with Tiny, he's going to have to pretty much tread it the long way through the map. Everyone on 4ASC, they're down bottom so far. We've actually only got one here that's separated, and that's Matama Man. He just killed off the Ancients, and he's getting really big. I think this is pretty much going to be almost as big as your sniper's ever going to get. He can probably swap out the phase boots into boots of travels, and I guess maybe the Sanjin Yasha to go for something a little bit bigger. But Matama Man, he's pretty big. At Bristleback, he's getting pretty big as well, getting very close to his Assault Cuirass, unless he has everything already. Actually, he doesn't though. I don't know why Trixie threw the hook shot, but he has Ag, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, yeah, nothing on the courier. There's a Stout Shield, which I'm pretty sure Trixie doesn't need anymore. 45 minutes in the game. Stout Shield doesn't seem like a good purchase. But yeah, Bristleback, he could grab the AC, which is coming pretty shortly, and then Basher, Abyssal, probably his path. For Sniper, I mean, yeah, he is full up on items that are useful for him. Boogie's going to get caught by the Sky with Mage, Mystic Flare, and with the seal damage, they'll kill off that Lion very easily. Gem on the floor. J4 will grab that one and be home free. Again, a nice little win for Power Rangers, but can they actually get anything off of that? J4 is going to get assassinated. He will survive that. And it looks like Power Rangers just waiting for Roshan. It's a rather long one, another 30 seconds-ish until that'll come back up. Before ASC probably will be able to mobilize with their Lion and as a full-man team in order to crash this party. Power Rangers, they don't really want to stick around for too long. They should be moving up towards the top lane as Tiny and Io and trying to get some split push going.
Yeah, I think they really have to go for the split push. They just need to go for the, I want to call it the Spectre, essentially when the Spectre just kind of sits in the opposite side of the map and just continuously sits in lane. When the fight happens, just haunt in with Sachlo. He just needs the Wisp to come in, or he can just use his boots of travel. So I feel like Sachlo, he needs to do something. He's still farming though. I feel like he has enough to really give it to his teammates. Yes, he can just keep on hitting creeps. I suppose it's nice to have those big numbers in terms of how much gold you have, but you need to give farm to some of your teammates. I feel like Sachlo, he's going to have to stop farming eventually because this is going to be redundant gold if you think about it. It's not going to really benefit the Tiny anymore aside from buyback. Unless he wants to change up one of his item pickups, which in all honesty, I feel like he could change out the heart into something else to really benefit in these team fights, but he's hanging on to it. I feel like it's just for HP regen with the Wisp, I guess. Aside from that, I don't know. I still found it very questionable as a pick. Yes, Tiny is a strength-based hero, and yes, he benefits from building onto strength, but I feel like he needs something a little bit different than just having the tank ability of a heart.
Yeah, something a little bit more on the damage end of things. Like even Satanic probably would have benefited him a little bit more. With the amount of right clicks he get in, the lifesteal is going to be insane and offers already for fairly similar amounts of effective HP, but it's a little bit more of an aggressive item, so maybe that for shots though. But he has bought something. It's another Hyperstone. I don't think you go for Mjolnir.
I don't see why not. He might get rid of the BKB.
For just another Assault Cuirass? Is that really what you want to be doing? That's, first of all, redundant items, and that's not what you ever want to be doing, ever. But actually, they're going to gear up for a fight. J4 going to run to a couple hook shot over onto Shot. So Clockwork just charged with occupying Tiny's time, but he bumps him closer to the fight. In fact, I got this one, trying to get his split off, and he will eventually. There's a black hole onto Nemphy only. With the black hole, he won't be taking, with the BKB rather, he won't be taking any damage. Shot is being kited back and forth. Trixie going to stun him even through the BKB, and so far it's only the Skywrath Mage to die. Black hole, second one, going to be used onto Nemphy, but still this Bristleback's at above half HP. Now the Tiny can finally do some work into this Bristle with the tree. He will get a quick 2-kill for himself. Valek's also going to get a little bit too far ahead, and they send a 2-man up into the air. Cheshire Cat looking for a Malphite stun. Does he even have it? He has it in 2 seconds. They'll land the sniper right into a stun from Cheshire Cat, and probably an avalanche toss combo as well. With even a cleave hit from the Tiny, they'll kill off the sniper, instantly bought back into the game. He's actually the only one on his team with buyback. And Power Rangers, they're definitely going to test the high ground. Shasho took no damage in that entire fight, essentially. He was, being hit a lot, but he didn't take that much damage because of it. They'll kill off the Enigma, snipe him out with the Assassinate. Gem will be claimed, however, by the Brewmaster, and well, this looks like it might be Rax's. This sniper, he's doing a lot of damage to Shasho, kind of, but not doing enough to slow down this push. Because Shasho is just ignoring it with his amount of raw HP and armor, eating all of those bullets for breakfast. Walk in, take Rax's, easily done from him. And Machuva is going to fire at Shasho on the way out, but it seems like this sniper is like level 1 or something. He's not doing that much damage. Now Boogie's going to teleport in, trying to go for the kill on King R, but an avalanche toss is going to meet him. And that's going to be him going down as well. Lion just respawned, and they don't even kill off the IO. That's Rax's finally taken 50 minutes in the game, and for ASC, running low on damage. Even though this sniper has so many items, he needs to get rid of this on Nyasha. It's just not pulling enough weight.
Yeah, he really needs to bump up that damage. Like we saw, he was hitting the Tiny. No one contesting him, and he did almost nothing. Oh my god, that Laguna Blade just killing off the Wisp. He actually buys back. There's me Trixie going into the Roche Pit though. He's isolated. There's going to be the split coming out from Ditira, and there is Cheese as well as Aegis and such. So he denies the Aegis, and I think he denied the Cheese as well. Alright then, so we're going to have a KYXY thrown out by Sasho, but Trixie is trying to delay the inevitable. He's going to throw the cogs, just kind of keep Sasho busy, whereas Nemphy trying to chase after him, but BKB has been deployed. Gonna toss him back to Matumba Man though, but there is gonna be the avalanche. Not gonna affect Nemphy because he's got his BKB. There's the Wisp though, so King, he is ready if necessary with the, actually never mind, there's no relocate, so Sasho, he's dead. He's got buyback though, but there's no buyback on the Wisp because he bought back to try and save his teammates. So that's gonna be a 4-on-5 engagement here. They left one hero behind, that's Boogie on our line because we had a couple of shenanigans coming up from Cheshire Cat who did try and go for a push in the top lane, but in the mid lane though, we are going to have a T3 tower under siege. There is going to be the glyph and the buyback coming out from Sludge, so they're going to say, you cannot have our base. Yes, you killed us a couple of times, but we cannot give you our base. So unfortunately for ASC, they get some big counter kills, but they don't get any objectives, just a couple of buybacks.
Well, it's, I guess, a nice win for Power Rangers. They take Rax's, and the creeps are still kind of flooding the base here for ASC. Tiny, I mean, he did some decent work there, but eventually was brought down. He's going to try to travel into Valek's. He will fall short in that, and looks like the Enigma, I think he was one TP out. Yeah, he will get out home to safety. Assault Cuirass now picked up on the Brewmaster. Redundant items again from Power Rangers. Kind of weird to see, and it is going to be a Mjolnir for Shochlo. Well, you got to get rid of something here. I'm interested to see what it's going to be. It's okay. Assault Cuirass is going to be shipped out from the Tiny, replacing it with the other Hyperstone item because he still has the aura for the team. This is actually, I mean, it's nice, I suppose, to be able to shuffle around items like that, but he had plus 25 armor, and right now he's sitting at only plus 5. If he's somehow not near his Brewmaster, then the Sniper is going to be doing so much more damage onto this Tiny, and we saw it, I mean, not really coming through on the bottom fight because, well, Tiny was seemingly invulnerable there, but now the Tiny is a little bit more vulnerable, and maybe Sniper, if he does get another item, which is going to be that Daedalus, he could punish this move from Power Rangers.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out though, because for all we know, as long as the Brewmaster's still alive, it's absolutely okay. And Ditira, he's not as tanky as you would think he would be, but he's not a primary target. So for ASC, they could just essentially ignore the Brewmaster and just try and focus down some of the other heroes on the side of Power Rangers. So I feel like it's not a bad decision because Ditira is just not that primary target anymore. Although we are going to have a smoke coming up from Power Rangers. Will they find anyone on the side of 4ASC? They're going to go Where are they going to go? They're going to go up into the mid lane though, but actually for ASC, they think they want to go for their own smoke. They're going to back up. They don't actually know what's going on though, so if they can get out safely, that's going to be great. So that's going to be everyone on 4 ASC completely fine. They just dodged a bullet there.
And again, I don't think they knew about what was actually going on. They're just realizing, oh wait, they can be smoked up right now. And a good read from 4ASC. They're going to keep all of their heroes alive. Cheshire Cat does have that double black hole available right now. And even though the last black holes were kind of bad, honestly, like 2 single target black holes, both on the Bristleback, who could shrug off most of that damage, just having that threat is going to force 4ASC into some weird positions. And Enigma, he even has a black hole Force Staff. He can probably set up for slightly better black holes, even if there's no follow-up at this stage. If you do get 2 consecutive 2-man black holes, you're essentially trading your life for 2 enemy heroes' lives, and that's usually worth it. Boogie's going to run to a Scarith Mage. Mystic Flare, for the most part, is going to miss, but with all the damage that Scarith Mage has from that Ethereal Blade plus the Seal, Lion doesn't stand a chance. And yeah, it's going to be a nice little kill there for Power Rangers. Are they going to actually push off of this? Looks like they're just continuously just going to farm and split push. This Lion death might not be punished after all.
Oh, it's just a line, really. I guess you're going to be missing out on the disables that he provides, but aside from that, the Lion's not really that big of a threat. A lot of the times, he just gets popped in the team fights anyway, just because he has to jump right into the middle of them to disable Sarchlo, to disable the Enigma, to just keep Dityara busy, so it's not a big kill. And his death time is still pretty short. He's only sitting at level 6. No, I don't really want to say only 16, but he is one of the lowest level heroes in the game. He's actually the lowest level hero in the game, unfortunately. So, poor Lion having a rough life. Compared to the level 19 Scarith Mage, who was supposed to be the lowest level on the side of Power Rangers. Oh god, that was such a nice rune from him as well. Regeneration. So he's back up to full mana too.
Play well, get rewarded. Of course, at this point, 55 minutes in, that was probably bound to happen at some point in the game. J4 is going to get back up to full mana, and as you said, just be holding on to another cannon from Power Rangers. This Scarith Mage has gotten to a pretty dangerous state right now. He bursted down the Lion very easily, granted only 1300 HP. Lena is far from invulnerable to that combo. Clockwork, more or less, is because of his Blade Mail, and Scarith Mage is just not going to unleash his combo on the clock because of it. But if Sniper gets caught off by that Scarith Mage, that's not him immediately dead, but it's him mostly dead. Sniper shouldn't be in that position ever, but just saying, if he is somehow in the front lines, or if Scarith Mage finds himself in the back next to the Sniper, then Scarith Mage can punish the Sniper really hard. And at the very least, with the Ethereal Blade, not let the Sniper attack. Sometimes that's all you need. But this game is going to progress onwards very slowly. Now I think Tiny officially can't buy anything else, unless he decides 5 seconds BKB isn't quite enough. But Sniper also has that Daedalus completed. Sanjiasha still on his person, adding a mixture of that
Oh
health
no.
Oh
no,
okay.
double damage, no.
That
oh
could
god.
do some work.
Yep.
So right
God.
now, he's hitting for 500 a pop. And when he grabs that double damage rune, it's going to be 860, let's say 900 damage a pop. I would say that hurts. Now is really when you're happy that you grab that Heart of Tarask. Plus 40 sounds pretty good.
So it looks like they're just going to sit on this double damage rune while the rest of their heroes just slowly push down that mid lane. It's only JR as well as Cheshire Cat that are really exposing themselves. So for the moment, for ASC, they don't really know where the Tiny or the Panda really is. They're just pretty much cowering in their base. They're saying, okay, we don't really have too much vision to work with at this point, so we just have to play defensive. Don't get caught out. Don't die. We need you all here for this team fight. But Slashly, he has already popped this double damage rune, so he's just going to continue on farming the jungle with it. So we're not going to see any double damage shenanigans, unfortunately. I was a little excited, but
yeah, I don't know why you don't go for that. Like, what is he doing with this double damage rune? He's farming the jungle. That's fantastic most of the time, but he's 6-slotted. He can't get any stronger. There's no point in farming up the jungle. I would actually much rather like to see him sit on that double damage rune, and then, you know, have the rest of the heroes, except for the IO, just walk around, look for a fight, and then travel into that fight with the double damage rune, and then just split some heads. Like, now the double damage rune is gone, and that could have been a game-winning rune there for Power Rangers if they just did decide to hold on to it. Maybe there will be more double damage runes in the future, but again, I don't really know what they're waiting for in this type of game state.
Sasha just kind of dancing around on the hill is saying, okay guys, what do I do? What do I do? So lost. But yeah, what does Sasha do at this point? He doesn't even have to do anything. He's farmed, he's got all the items that he needs, he has buyback. All he's doing at this point, just kind of walking around figuring out what's my purpose in life. Oh god, if they see that invisibility rune down bottom. Oh dear.
It's not as bad as double damage.
That's still good rune.
I mean, yeah, but who are you actually going to ambush right now? For ASC, they're all on their base. Maybe if you push down bottom, someone like the Lina will go over there and try to defend it. Slotcho is on a secret mission. Nobody tell for ASC. But no,
well,
okay, he's
just
just gonna use the rune to go back into the jungle and farm.
Oh, this man, he needs a purpose in life. Oh god. Hard life of a 6-slot tiny. Yep.
Is it, you can't even buy a refresher orb on Tiny. Like most heroes, you can get some value out of refresher orb. Tiny just isn't one of those heroes. I guess to like refresh travels, if that's something that they want to be doing. Buy Divine Rapier, keep it in the base time, I think. This Aegis and Cheese might not be eaten after all. It's actually Aegis for J4, Cheese and a King R. That should have been what they wanted to do with the first Aegis, should Shacho not have denied that. But now they have a little bit of definitive item advantage for Power Rangers. They're going into an enemy team who has buyback on pretty much everyone, minus the Lion, so it's not going to be easy for them. But J4 has the Aegis and a Mystic Staff. This Skywrath Mage is doing a hell of a lot of damage with these Arcane Bolts. 140, yeah, 200, that's like 400 damage in Arcane Bolt, something like that. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, and especially the poor supports, the Lion's only rocking 1.3k HP. 59, we're almost an hour into this game. So game 3 between these two teams, they're taking their time, but they don't want to lose the advantages that they have gained. Power Rangers, they're taking it very slow, very methodically. Actually, Slotcho, I feel like that's a bit of a cocky play to just kind of go in there without the whisper. Oh my god, JR, look how quickly he went down, and he's going to get peeped. He does have Aegis though, so he's going to come back relatively soon. The Wisp, did he relocate 2 feet away? Because he's still there.
And he's going to take a Finger of Death, but still be fine, even though that was amplified. He will be forced to consume the cheese to bring J4 back into full. Here comes Cheshire Cat. We'll get a stun to Balix, Bling 4 from the Brewmaster as well. Lina is going to be the first casualty for real now. As for ASC, the rest of them are bottled up in their base. Power Rangers, they still have the Black Hole, but with no BKB on the Enigma right now, do they really want to go for this one? They still have the BKBs on Slotcho and on Ditchy Raw right now. But for ASC, they can make their defense without their Lina. She's not really the most important part of their high ground defense. And bottom lane is pushing in, so Power Rangers do have quite a bit of time until they are actually forced into any sort of play. They're going to start with chip damage on this tier 3 tower rather. Almost completely irrelevant. Slotcho back onto the high ground, and he's going to actually get a stun onto Boogie, who actually got some of the Craggy. That's a death of the Lion. So unlucky there. Slotcho's going to get the BKB popped. Relocate from King R's. Literally gonna take him like 50 range. I don't really know what the point of that one was, but hey, you know, you could have gone back to the base and gotten Slotcho a full tank of health, but he has a hard Terras, so I guess you don't even need to do that. But relocate down, big asset there for 4ASC. No, it's not gonna be relevant at all. But over towards mid, J4, he's still pushing down that lane, and this is just a delicate dance right now. Slotcho clearing out creep waves, 4ASC clearing out the creep waves just the same. Is it really going to result into nothing? Come on, guys. Someone do something. Enigma, blink into the north trees and then just, like, ambush them from the top. Because Lina's back up again.
Yeah. But, well, when I said they were taking this slow and methodically, they kind of are, but yeah, that was very unfortunate for the Lion to drop down. So we're going to have the MJ static field thrown out onto our Tiny. He's going to be used up into the air. There is going to be the BKB pop though, so no stun will connect, but Nemphy is going to be there. Look how much damage Slotcho was actually taking from our for a sniper, but there is going to be Black Hole in the backline, so they managed to secure 2 kills. The Lina, double Black Hole, so that's when Tumberman down for the first time. He has buyback available though, but can they actually finish them off though? Slotcho is pretty low. That was another 2 foot, I don't know why King R really loves these 2 feet relocates, but can they actually manage to get some return kills? Matumberman, he wants to try and finish off the Brewmasters. Brewlings are going to go down. That's going to be the last one, so that's the Brew exposed. Everyone else on the side of Power Rangers, they're down and out of there. Power Rangers got a couple of kills as well as some buybacks, but they only got a T3 tower off of it. So they didn't get as much as they would have liked to, but still, I guess they got some pretty big buybacks.
Yeah, 2 buybacks for a double black hole and a tier 3. It's not really a huge gain for Power Rangers, but it's still a win, I suppose. Now we have to wait for another 152 seconds for Enigma to get double black hole up again. And then Power Rangers will, in theory, go in again to make that exact same play, and maybe 4ASC will do better, maybe worse. But Toonman really just has to watch his positioning, though he would love to be on the front line to chip at the Tiny and to clear the creep waves. If he's shooting at the Tiny, that means the Enigma can jump in and black hole him. And if you're able to trade your life as Enigma for the enemy sniper, just even 1-for-1, keep him occupied in the black hole, just waste his time, that's going to be worth it for Cheshire Cat to make that play. Obviously, you would love to grab more players, but hey, at this stage, you take what you can get when you're reliant on such a long cooldown. So it's 63 minutes, and this game is still just going on. By the way, Tiny's now up to 12k, 13k gold, so yeah, he has enough so that in his next game, he could pretty much just instantly 6-slot.
Yep. Oh god, another double damage rune, but again, they're not really going to do anything with it. They're just going to have Sasha just kind of walk around with the shiny blue aura, and that's probably about it. Just going to kind of show it off, I suppose, for ASC. Just look how much damage. 2 cleaves, and that's going to creep wave down. Oh man. But man, for ASC, they're really on the back foot. These team fights are so hard for them now. They just can't really get a grip as to who they want to focus down. Do they want to focus down the Tiny? Because if you focus down the Tiny, then you have to deal with the Brewmaster and the Black Hole. If you focus down the supports, the Tiny just rains down on the supports and then eventually onto those core heroes on the side of 4ASC. So it feels like for 4ASC to really come back into the game, Power Rangers, they're going to have to have a massive screw up, or they're just going to have to try and force some buybacks or whatnot. They just have to grab some crucial kills. In particular, that Tiny, because he is the main problem that 4ASC has to deal with. Everyone else on Power Rangers, they're not really that big of a deal. The Panda doesn't really hit hard. I suppose Scarlet Mage is probably going to be hitting hard. He's also rocking with a Hex as well, so he's going to be super annoying with that. But yeah, there's just no more damage aside from the Tiny, just everything in the Tiny boat.
And even if he does die, he has buyback. And
yeah,
if there was no cooldown on buyback, he would have like 10 buybacks or something like that. So it seems pretty unfair,
yep.
But it's a good thing Ice Frog changed that. That would be so bad right now if I had to sit through that. Like infinite shot slows, infinite 4,000 HP heroes. I would just lose it, but right now, they're just going to slow push the top lane, I suppose. Oh my god, an item pickup? Really? 65 minutes in the game. Brewmaster still not 6-slotted. Is going to grab a Basher. And this is the item build you want to go for. Pretty much anyone who has an Assault Cuirass would love to grab a Basher. That's more or less a rule. But you know what? Getting an Abyssal to cut through to someone, anyone, it doesn't even matter who, is going to be nice. Again, if you take yourself out of the fight and take the enemy out of the fight and have that trade, usually it's going to be worth it, especially for Brewmaster, who can't really do much better. Shotch, though, is back on the front lines right now. Avalanche onto Trixie, who will get bumped back by the Cogs. Clear up the creep wave, do some splash damage to Nemphy right now, but Sacho is slowly but surely going to go for a Trixie. Caught in the Mystic Flare, is going to get right outside of it, and he will be fine. Here comes the Brewmaster. Blink into a split as Cheshire Cat winds up with the Black Hole, looking for an angle. Sacho already dropping pretty low, and he will go down right now. There's the Black Hole. No real damage going into it, though. It will occupy the Sniper's time. They'll take out the Isle and the Tiny both. Tiny's right back into this fight, though, but Two-Man sitting in the fountain is just firing away. Cheshire Cat's going to refresh the Black Hole again, but Sacho just bought back. If they take him down right now, that could be game for 4ASC. But they can't. They can't quite get close to him, and Shacho's right on top of the Raxes. They'll bring that down. Another Mystic Flare is going to whiff onto the Bristleback. Now Two-Man's going to let loose into this Brewmaster and Shacho both. He's struggling to find any sort of targets. Hookshot in. Shacho taking a lot of damage right now. He already uses buyback in a Black Hole. A little bit too late to save him, but it might kill off Felix and Two-Man both. But there's no damage. Follow up right now. They'll turn around, kill off the Enigma. Now they're going to go for the Brewmaster, who's going to land into an LSA. They'll kill him off as well. And where's J4? He's already long gone. It's a set of Raxes, but only ranged for Power Rangers, and 120 seconds where the Tiny is down and out. Yet the Sniper, he does not have a buyback either, but he survived through all of that. This is the chance for 4ASC to push down mid lane and take at the very least Raxes of their own.
This is pretty much the make it or break it phase for 4ASC. They just cannot go for another defense. They lost one Rax in that top fight, and they also lost a lot of those really important heroes. So now, beeline down that middle lane. Can they actually get down there and finish up the T4 towers before the Tiny comes back? I feel like they can, just because even though Power Rangers, they've got buybacks available and they're going to have 4 heroes up, those 4 heroes are not enough alone to keep them off because double black hole, it's on cooldown. Your brew split, it's going to be coming off cooldown, but it's not a big deal because those brewlings are going to be so easy to kill off. Skywrath Mage, his nuking potential and the Hex, that's going to be key to getting a kill onto Matumba Man because he is the only damage dealer. I guess you can include Nemphy now because he's going to be doing quite a bit as well. But they're going to lose their base very soon. Can they stall though? I have a feeling they may have just thrown it.
Well, Cheshire Cat's going to get a little bit too much in front. Nemphy is going to get sheeped up. Mystic Flare as well. Not quite going to kill him off. Props to BKB. And with the double finger Laguna combo, they'll kill off the Skywrath Mage very easily. Matumba Man still firing off. They're going for GG right now. Cheshire Cat's going to get in there with the Malefice, which will slow down Matumba Man 30 seconds until the Lion's back up online, or the Tiny rather. They're going to get the split out. Matumba Man's still in the back though. He still is just fine to keep on firing with his Mask of Bats, getting a little bit of life. They'll throw the Clockwork up into the air. Everyone for ASC still alive. The Storm Panda going to get annihilated by the Sniper. There's no black holes available right now. Boogie's gonna jump right in, get locked down into King R. Io is gonna get focused down. Laguna Blade is there. Dragon Slave through the Ethereal will get that kill as well as Cheshire Cat stuck in the cogs. He will travel out from under the cogs. BKB providing him with that escape, but Tiny is gonna revive right now. If 4SC kill off the Tiny by some miracle, then that will be their win. But they're going to fall back right now. Matumba Man not too healthy. He's going to let loose on the Slash. So look at the damage out. But here comes the Brewmaster. A little bit too late. Tiny in the cogs is going to be dropping again. He has no buyback still. Matumba Man with the BKB is still firing off. He's going to kill off Cheshire Cat. Now he's being focused down by the Brewmaster. He's going to die, but he has buyback for this one. And he is going to immediately travel into this fight. Or at least he might not even need to. I got this one is all alone. He'll be brought down. Now the Sniper is going to arrive. And Power Rangers did in fact just lose this game. The base of Power Rangers is in shambles. They're going to relocate the IO in as a desperation play, but that's it for ASC. In 69 minutes, 70 almost, are going to take the game and knock Power Rangers out. Man, this is such a boring game, but the end, that's where it's going to come down to, the end. And it's for ASC to ultimately claim victory.
That was... I'm not going to call that anticlimactic. That was a very exciting way to finish that best of 3 series. And considering how long it took as well to reach the climax, I'm actually glad it really happened. But wow. I have nothing else to really say. But that was so close. Power Rangers, they almost had their game, but up top, they just overextended. They got a little bit too cocky. And they miscalculated how much damage that Matumba Man can really throw out on the Sniper. And also the Bristleback, even the Lena and the Lion, their nukes as well, doing tons of damage too. So for ASC, absolutely deserving to win that best of 3 series. My god.
Alright guys, I'm wiped, but you know what? There's more coming. We got Hee versus BBC, which should have been live an hour and a half ago. That's coming next. Is it bad that I'm hoping for a 2-0? Maybe not. Maybe it is. Who knows? But either way, I'm Mikelorus. I hope you enjoyed the casting, guys. If you did, be sure to hit the follow button. Also, follow the casters over on Twitter. I'm Mikelorus. You find me at Mikelorus. You can follow my co-caster at Danelie. It's all on the screen right now and also below the stream. So do that. But for right now, we're going to be shipping over to the wait screen. Hopefully, it's not too messed up. And then we'll be waiting for the next series, which should be happening. I think it's not canceled. I'll keep you guys updated in the chat. I'll see you guys next time, though. Should be happening very shortly. Later, guys.